This is video 8 of Gunslinger Legends of the Dusty Trail. This is going to show you how to play Gunslinger Shootout. It's a pretty quick explanation. It's not going to be a full game or anything, but it'll give you an idea of exactly how you're supposed to proceed. I've set up the game for what would be 4 players. Really, the more the better. Consider that this is kind of like an OK Corral shootout. You've got entire posses lining up against each other. You got 4 of them. Right here you got Raging Arrows posse coming out of Little Rock. And so, of course, they have their 3 clutch cards ready to go that Raging Arrow starts with. This is Luther the Lawman Hale, who's coming out of Lincoln. This is Kid Rango's posse, who is coming out of Carson City. And this is Pablo the Pistol's posse. He's coming out of Hermosillo. So each of them have their clutch cards, and they have their deck already stacked. It's up to you how you stack your deck. The basic rule of thumb is you want to survive. You only win if you survive. So each of the 4 players would basically even try to make wise decisions about who they're going to shoot at so that they don't face retaliation and get knocked out of the game early. So everybody starts with 1 gunslinger up. Raging Arrow is going to try to go on the offensive first. By going on the offensive, you get a clutch card for every guy you gun down. So he's going to try to do that and get some of the better clutch cards. So the extra clutch cards go here. If you take anybody out, then you get to cash in on an extra clutch card, which will help you later. Scott the Bushwhacker Slade. Luther the Lawman is also coming out firing. He's got a high draw, which means he will be the first one to attack whoever he chooses. And Gambling Gordy Gibbs. Kid Rango is going for the defensive move because he has an evade of 8. It's going to discourage people shooting at him because nobody wants to necessarily go after an evade of 8 right off the bat. They want more of a sure thing. And he's really no threat because he can't attack. Now, out of Hermosillo, they're starting with a very good all-around player, Ruben the Rat Reyes. A good gunslinger. He's got a decent attack, good draw, and a good evade. All right, so the way it would work is the person with the highest draw skill would fire first, which would be Scott Slade the Bushwhacker. Scott Slade has an attack of 4. He has a draw of 10. So because John Sundown only has a draw of 5, Ruben the Rat has 9, Gambling Gordy has a 1, Scott Slade goes first. And if Scott Slade were to roll a 4 or less, he would hit somebody. But to do that, he must first designate who he's firing at. Remember, you don't want to make many enemies. So Scott Slade's probably going to shoot at one of these big guns here. And once he chooses a posse, he's going to probably keep going after that posse unless one is going to look like the obvious winner. So Scott Slade is going to shoot at Ruben the Rat. And let's say Ruben the Rat is not able to evade. Ruben the Rat will go down. He is eliminated from play, and the next gunfighter comes up. Now, this is an extremely important fact about Shootout. When a gunslinger is taken out, immediately the draw skill resets. Whoever has the highest draw skill gets to fire again. Even if it was Scott Slade the Bushwhacker, he could keep firing and firing and firing at whoever he wants as long as he stays hot. But Carlos the Mountain has a draw of 11, so he takes over as the number 1 attacker. Now let's say Carlos the Mountain rolls a 9 and misses. Now it's back to Scott Slade the Bushwhacker. He's definitely going to fire at Carlos the Mountain because he only has an evade of 1, but he's a dangerous gunfighter. So Scott Slade, let's say he rolls a 2, and he's successful. Carlos the Mountain does not evade because he only has a 1, and he goes down. So you always kind of keep track of the guys. We like to keep track of how many guys one of your gunfighters takes out. We've had even some of the worst gunfighters take out like 6 guys in a row. So it gets fun that way too. All right, so these 2 guys are down, and then you flip up the next gunslinger, which is Tuco Torres. He's got a draw of 3. So again, Scott Slade stays on the offensive. Now let's say he rolls a 5 and misses. Well, now it's going to go to John Sundown Brown, who has a draw of 5. So because he missed, now you get to go to the other gunfighters and go in the order of their draw skill. So if John Sundown rolls a 5 and is aiming at Tuco, which is probably a good move because he has a draw of 2, and hits him, he fails the evade. Now he's out. And so play will continue like this. You flip over that. The guy went down, so again the draw skill resets. Scott Slade's the first guy up again. So what you try to do is make as few enemies as possible as you thin out the other posses and plan to make yourself the last one standing. Now, something I did forget to do as we were playing is this guy would have gotten an extra clutch card and another one for taking out Carlos the Mountain and Ruben the Rat, which comes into play later because later in the game you're going to need those to kind of give you the edge. Because if you got 3 posses firing at you, you're going to need a little bit of extra to make it to the end. So if you survive, you're the winner. And there's one man standing in Gunslinger Shootout at the end.